Okay, so the first board on the wall, like I told you, I'm gonna cut it out the niche right now. Okay. Okay, so this is where our niche is gonna be. It will be pretty cool design for this one, but I'll show you this later once it's finished. So at this moment we're pretty much through with the project for today. We be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I will show you the next steps on additional prep work, additional work regarding installation of the tile backer underlayment for tiling. Stay tuned. Step, I'm gonna work on this board next, and another one will be probably this piece. So I'm gonna measure that, but before I do the measurements, what I'm always doing where the boards meet, I'm adding wooden blocks so the board stays solid and it will not flex when installing tiles, so there's no option for any movement. I feel a little bit better if I'll do it this way. So this is kind of a neat thing to do. And this way, another board, it will be pretty much like a solid piece. Sometimes you will see contractors putting just like a tape, painting tape to keep the boards together, but this is more durable. So each time we have a transition between two boards, I'm adding those wooden blocks to hold the boards nicely together and make them really strong. So if I have to push tile a little bit during installation, the board is not flexing, not moving. As you can see, I already have those blocks on the top part. They don't have to go stud to stud. It's good to have at least a little bit. So the next step will be to measure this board, and I will try to have original edging attaching here to the board and to the outside. The cuts will be placed to the top part and to the corner. So we have 22 over here. I'm checking in several spots if the distance stays same. I have this cut it out previously to the level, so the board should have exactly same sizes, same dimensions, and this is how it looks like right now. So we have 47 3/4 by 22 piece. We will cut it and we will attach it over here. On this side over here, I did some preparation yesterday, and I'm gonna measure from the wall over here to this corner. This is how the shower shapes in this case. Most of the times you have squared or rectangular shower. In this case it's a little bit different, just slightly more complicated to have everything figured. Once again, we never put any underlayment all the way to the bottom of the shower pan. We have to leave space for the mud and for the tile. So I'm usually leaving about 3 inches gap between the bottom of the shower pan liner and where the board actually starts. So this way, like I said, it will not soak with water, it will stay dry. So I'm measuring this here, this distance here, I'm checking 3 inches from the bottom. So we will have 18 1/4 in this case. Let me write it down. 18 and a quarter, measuring here and here to the side. Looks like we will have 35 and 7/8. 35 and 7/8. Working on the underlayment, we don't have to be really that precise. We can leave gap about 1/8 of an inch, because the gap it's gonna get filled with the waterproofing that I'm doing anyway, so there will be any movement. I'm making sure that I have a piece of underlayment that will nicely fit. When needed, of course, I'm adjusting this precisely. So we have the top piece next, and this piece over here, and I can also already measure for that, but I will wait till I have this one in place, so we have nice corner. So this is it. This type of underlayment, like I said, you can cut with a sharp utility knife. If we're working with a durock, there are some devices to cut durock, special knives to cut durock for other boards. Sometimes we can use also utility knife. Sometimes it requires different cutting tool, like a grinder, or this oscillating cutting device that I have over here is also very handy to make nice straight cuts. And yes, so preparation, as I'm always saying, is key to the success, and this is what I'm trying to show you, how to be successful with the final installation, and also have shower that is really durable, and there's no risk for any damage to happen. So we have our straight edge, and Peter is cutting this with a utility knife. As you can see, this type of underlayment breaks pretty easy, almost like drywall, but it's not a drywall. Don't mistake those two. And it has a built-in moisture barrier. You can see it here. It's kind of yellowish color, and it's really great stuff. So if you have this available, I would recommend. If not, there are some other types that you can use. So here we have to cut only 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, this device is very handy. Makes a little bit of a dust, so dust mask will be recommended to have, and some type of ventilation. It's pretty cold outside, so this is why we're doing cutting inside today, but most of the times we will perform all the cutting, of course, outside of the place. So this piece is already ready, and I'm gonna put it on the wall in a few seconds. Sometimes when we cutting, the board will not break evenly. There are some pieces, some elements that will be sticking out farther, or that are actually not allow us to put the board inside. So many times when we're cutting with, especially with a knife, I'm kind of scraping the edge to ensure that it's flat, so there's no any bumps, allowing me to nicely put underlayment inside on the wall. Just a little bit more to do. Troszkę dalej.
Tam jest dobrze, tu tylko. Tu nie wchodzi o to. Tam więcej jeszcze.
Okay, a little bit of the liquid nails in the corner. And also here on this outside edge. And let me see how that fits. Okay. Nice fit. I'm making sure that on this side it doesn't stick out farther than it should. Okay. And of course, screwing this down, I'm using screws designed to be used for exterior, so they are moisture and water resistant. All of this of course will get waterproof additionally, but like I said, I'm using all the tools that we have to make sure that it's done correct way. So you want to make sure that the screw is nicely flush with the surface of the board. And all those holes later will get filled with the waterproofing. So we will know that everything is done the way it should. Here I have those blocks that I showed you before. Okay, so I have this board. Same situation as over there. I'm having this one first, so it nicely holds in a corner, and this wall actually will go right against this one because we have the pen liner wrapped over here. So the board will be pushing some pressure on the pen liner in the board, but I'm checking and it looks like I have to notch it a little bit more over here for the curb. It's just a little bit, so I'm gonna notch this real quick. Nicely fits over here, so this one is ready. On this side I also have this piece, as I told you previously. You see this is flash over here, this one goes on top of that one. I also have a small notch over here, so this one will be ready to be put in a few seconds. A little bit of the adhesive here will be good. I'm going to mark also locations for the studs, so I know exactly how and where to screw it down. Okay, and now all the remaining screws will be to put in a few moments. Here on this wall, again, some adhesive. Okay, I'm gonna check if it's flush on the top with the 2x4. It is. And I'm gonna catch it for now with just one screw, and the rest, you know, with putting screws to tight. Okie doke. So we have this board in place on this wall. We have this one also. Now we have this piece that we already have ready and prepared. So before putting the top part, because this one always goes as the last, I'm gonna attach this one. Okay, so I have this piece in place. The next piece I'll be working on is this piece. And as I previously mentioned, this always goes on top of the shower curve, on top of the flat part that we have. And I'm gonna attach this one real quick. And a few additional ones. Here we have this kind of tricky outside corner. I have also pieces already pre-cut. This one will be here. Then I'm going to put additional piece. They're ready. Have also ready over here. So I'm going to attach all of this. If we're going to put this one first or this one is not really that essential. Essential is to have this piece actually capping off our entire top of the knee wall. So this piece will actually go first before we will start working on a wall. So wall actually sits on top of that one. I've been waiting with putting this front piece to install it after I have the floor installed. So because another important rule, the shower curve underlayment goes always on top of the floor. Same situation later when you'll be tiling, you're going to tile floor first all the way to this point, and then the front of the curved tiles will sit on top of the floor tiles. So I have this piece already measured, and now I'm going to put some additional adhesive to make it really tight, and it's ready to be mounted in place. There's always small spacing, so we want to make sure that actually this piece rather go against the flat piece of the curve versus is pushed to the floor. And this is the next piece. I'm gonna put some more screws in a few moments. Here we have this piece ready as well, the smaller piece, and looks like it has to be cut somewhere here. Okay. This one will go as another over here, and now once we will have this piece in place, we're ready to put the top is the piece that I already have ready here, and I'm gonna make sure that it nicely lays here. I have to notch this corner just a little bit. Okay, so because of this tricky corner over here, what I'm always doing to have this nicely measured and figured, I will mark with a pencil from underneath how actually the angles appears to be. Then Peter will work on the cutting this for me. It will go on top in a moment. We're gonna screw it down, and this way we will have appropriate construction of the underlayment for the shower knee wall. So always like this on top, highly not recommended like that. Okay. Of course, I'm gonna put some more screws just to show you. So this is what we've got. This is how it nicely goes evenly on this corner, and this way we have knee wall already in board, we have curb already in board, the top we're leaving for now, and we're gonna continue with this wall. It's gonna be next. Okay, the built-in niche. I have a video when I'm showing how to build the niche, but when I'm already here, I'm gonna show you also here. If you would like to know exactly how to frame it, there's a video of mine that shows this step by step, but in this project it's a little bit different niche that I have over there. But what I'm doing, this piece, as I mentioned, goes first. Before we will put the back part, goes flat piece first on top of this wall. Here's this board, here is even, and before I will actually put this side. Here, this board will be notched, because like I said, continues all the way to the niche. The niche is kind of attached directly to the corner, so the next board will sit directly on top of this board and will go against this side. So we have this piece over here, and also when I'm already here, I can easily put the top piece that will be finished holding the tiles on the top, on a level above. Okay, so we have another piece in place. We of course leaving some room for the cement. We have this cut a little bit shorter for this piece to be kind of notched also to the inside of the niche, and on this part we will have two separate boards, because the space, we have board only 60 inches and there's a little bit more than 60 inches, so we have to combine two larger elements. I'm not recommending to try to put like small tiny bitty pieces to fill the space. The goal is to have this durable, so as large pieces as possible is what needs to be done. And yeah, so I'm gonna work on some screws. I'm gonna put blocks like I did in the other side, and we're getting there pretty fast. We have two more pieces to put in and to finish the niche left. So we slowly finishing board installation, and I'm putting the corner piece that actually will continue to the shelf. I have my blocks already in. Piece been pre-cut. It's kind of L-shaped. And it goes into the niche. The tile work on this wall will be different from this. Here we're gonna have smaller pieces. Here we have larger format tiles. And this tile work here will continue to the inside of the niche. It's pretty neat design, but of course requires some custom preparation to make it look in the way it's supposed to. And at this moment I'm about to put one of the last elements of this puzzles. I'm gonna catch it with a screw now. As you've noticed, I'm not marking any lines to make the installation easier for you regarding screwing, because we don't want to miss any screws, make too many of the holes. You can always mark where the stud is and draw a line. This way you will hit every single screw. I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of got pretty good in hitting studs without marking any lines. But even me, sometimes I'm doing some marks, but this always makes installation a little bit easier if we have markings. Something you can also do when you be working on your project. This way it will be maybe a little bit faster. So as you can see, next step will be to put all the screws in the very last board for us to figure it out. This one is also notched over here just a little bit, plus has a very small notch over here for this surface. Pretty much when you look at the space, those walls look exactly same. There's not really noticeable difference. So this board I'm gonna have original edging here and here. We're gonna cut it here, 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 and of course to the top. And as I mentioned, if we have to combine two boards, always remember to have as large pieces as can be. In this case I'm kind of having this in a half. I would try to avoid having a piece of board for 2 inches or for 4 inches, because it's too small and it's not really as durable as, of course, solid surface. Okay, so this is one of our last elements that will go over there, and this is precise fit, so we want to make sure that all the edges and sides that are not evenly broke are even, and we're going to install it in this location. Okay, so ready to put the last piece on the wall. all the smaller gaps that of course we need to have in order to be able to install the piece, to fit it into the cutout, and later get filled with a waterproofing membrane. This is something I will show you in a moment. I'm going to put some extra screws in a few seconds. One tip from me for you to consider: each time when we're connecting two boards, I'm not putting screws. We have limited space, we have only 1.5 inches of space, and we have to screw through the edge of the board. And what will happen, most of the times when we're putting screws through the very edge of the board will actually crack, and the screw will not hold the way it's supposed to. So what I'm doing, versus screwing the connections, I'm always nailing. Nail has very smooth, of course, finish, so it will nicely penetrate through the board, and will not cause any damage to the edging. So, as you can see, this is how it's done. I'm using galvanized nails. In this case, sometimes even nailing might cause some damage, but it hardly happens. So this is what I will do. Of course, later on each connection I will also do tape that helps hold those two pieces together. I'm going to tape all the joints with a fiberglass mesh tape. And you see, this way we do not have to worry about any cracking. Board will very nicely hold in this transition. The rest I'm going to use those exterior screws that are good for moisture and water. So the very last pieces we have still niche. I will continue with the niche in a few moments. Okay, one of the very last pieces here, I'm finishing the built-in niche. We have the bottom piece, the top piece in place. Now is the side, and as the very last one, we're going to put the inside piece. This goes as the very last. So this way we have our installation almost finished, and we slowly will be getting ready for waterproofing. There's another additional waterproofing that always needs to be performed, and I'll show you a little bit of this as well. Okie doke, so we just finished putting all the underlayment in the shower area. We have all the walls, the side wall done. We already have the part of the top decking done, and I'm on the process of starting waterproofing, additional waterproofing that I'm doing for each and single shower renovation project. As I mentioned previously, I have a separate video in this subject when I'm applying additional waterproofing fiberglass tape. But here in a few words and a few moments would like to show you this as well. So we'll waterproof all the seams, all the joints, shower curb niche, knee wall, to make sure that there's no any risk of water getting farther than the shower. But what else I would like to talk to you about before I start waterproofing is the curb. Many different contractors has different opinions, but is in such installations more about common sense. And as I explained you previously, we are attaching the underlayment here to the curb. I'm using exterior screws or nails that are actually not corrosive to attach those boards, and I'm nailing on the very top part of the shower pen. The water usually, if there will be chance, will get the most where my fingernail is right now. There's no chance in the world for water to build it up to the point where it will overflow through the holes. And even if, from whatever reasons, water will be sitting here, there's no room for that, but let's say the water got over there, each hole that's been made with a nail, it's filled with a nail. And like I told you previously, if we have a nail in the tire, same thing. Air might never escape. Plus, there's a balloon test trick when you can actually puncture balloon filled with water and with a sharp object, and balloon will not crack and water will not start dripping. Those are physics laws, and it's the same situation in a shower. So as long as we have no corrosive nail or screw, the water will not leak through this hole, even if it will be filled with the water all the way around. So this is in a few words to let you know how that works, but once again, there's no chance for water to build up that high. So if we're nailing or screwing down on the upper part of the interior of the curb, you're 100% safe. Some people might say, well, there's a hole, the pen liner been nailed down and it's gonna leak. Is a big no. No, the people that has no idea how things are built and work will tell you that way. People that are not open for thinking and for common sense techniques. So using and doing the way I'm showing you, I can guarantee you that you'll be successful. Of course, because of certain areas have holes, we still gonna do everything that's possible to additionally waterproof it. And okay, so I'm in the process of applying waterproofing. I'm using fiberglass mesh tape that will be applied on top of all the joints and all the corners to ensure that the board is durable and it's sealed. So this is pretty much the process that I'm on right now.